Namaste everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Living with ICT. This is your host Nehaja. We all know that cybersecurity issues are one of the biggest concern of modern day innovative world, and this issue is being mitigated by one of the biggest tech cybersecurity company for the more than 2 decades now, which is Kaspersky. Kaspersky is the world's largest privately held vendor of enterprise cybersecurity solutions. Throughout its more than 20 years, it has been giving digital solutions to the largest enterprises and the consumers. So we have a presence of a very special guest today. He is the South Asia General Manager at Kaspersky, and he is none other than Mr. Dipesh Kaura. Mr. Kaura is an experienced leader with a demonstrated history of working in cybersecurity and information technology sector. So I believe this interview is going to be very insightful and productive. So now, without any further delay, let's get into the interview. So, sir, we know that 2022 was a year filled with lots of achievement, both for you as well as the company itself, right? So I got to know that Economic Times is recognized Kaspersky as the best brand for 2022,
Correct.
right? So what do you think is the biggest reason behind this?
So the biggest reason is, one, the way we are connected to the customer. Second, the entire we are more in the problem solving situation than just doing products. So today, the way Kaspersky has evolved, it is more about covering the customer from a cyber security solution perspective. It is not about just selling an EDR, just selling an MDR. There are various facets that come into the solution, and we are able to cover the customer from a larger surface, from a cyber attack perspective. That has gone down very well with the customer community. Second, the partner connect and the partner reach for India is very, very high. So getting hang of a resource in times of difficult situations is not a problem. Third, the technical capabilities of the solution, be it the endpoint, be it the service offerings that we have, be it the overall protection which we do. The technical aspect is very, very strong. So the detection capability, the way we offer the threat intelligence onto it, has been of utmost importance to the user, and they have rated us very high in their satisfaction survey, which is what has helped us get through this award.
Okay, so sir, I would also like to congratulate you that you received Business Leader of the Year, right? So how was that overall experience like? Can you walk us through that?
Yes, so I would say it's a very overwhelming experience. It's an industry recognition which I have got. Primarily, it is more about the work that has gone from my side as a leader to work along Kaspersky to create that kind of a platform. So definitely, Kaspersky has given me that platform that I had, and the opportunity rather, that I've been able to work in that direction, given me the freedom to implement my strategies, given me the time to settle down the nuances of the business and create a new business model which is not only functional but strategic in nature. Those things have definitely been the reason maybe that I got shortlisted, and finally I could manage to get through the award as well. But the experience is phenomenal because this award will stay with me for a very long time in my heart, because it's a very special award, a very industry-driven award, and something which is of very high respect in the market. So that sense of achievement, that sense of satisfaction, that feeling of goodness that you get, because when I started doing what I'm doing right now with Kaspersky, I never started with an intention that there will be one day in life that somebody will come and give me an award for all the good work. But then when you get recognized, especially by some third party, your company respects you, your company recognizes you, there are rewards that they give you, that is all good, that also is very good. But some third party recognizing you from outside and appreciating your work from outside the organization definitely is a very strong motivation factor.
Right. So now let's move on to the company side, right? Kaspersky has been in the industry for more than 2 decades now, right?
Yes.
It's a multinational company working in many different countries. So what do you think is the overall experience like saving one of the biggest issue in the nationwide, right? Like protecting one of the biggest aspect of a nation. What is it like?
Again, a very overwhelming experience, because sometimes and there have been so many situations where we can't talk about openly that XYZ customer was badly hit, and we helped him with the tools that we had, and or because we had XYZ tools installed with the customer, this customer was able to save himself from the cyber attack. We can't come out and say that. But when the customer acknowledges that thanks Dipesh for suggesting Kaspersky, because of your tool we were able to save this attack and that attack, or your tool was able to identify, which helped us save ourselves. It is a very good feeling. We are also working very closely with governments across South Asia. The kind of feedback that we get from them, and the kind of cyber intelligence that we are able to share with them, and that feeling of contributing to a nationwide security is definitely beyond what you get in your job satisfaction. And working with Kaspersky, again, it gives you more confidence, because whatever tool or whatever service or whatever threat intelligence you have suggested to the various governments, when they acknowledge that yes, this was very important, thank you so much Dipesh, it helped, that is very, very good, because you also feel good about what you are doing as a contribution to the government, as a contribution to the nation, but you also feel good about the company, because end of the day I'm only positioning and proposing what I have from my company, right? So it gives you that confidence that yes, right technology, right product, right threat intelligence, which is being put to possibly the best use. So definitely very, very nice.
Right. So as a multinational company, as Kaspersky, what are the tactics that the company uses here in Nepal to uplift the cyber security conditions?
So 2023 now we are focusing extensively on Nepal, which is primarily the reason I've been here for the last 2 days. We are working very closely with the Sagar Group, which is who are our distributors here, and my purpose of this visit was to put different business plans in place, understand the various security dynamics inside Nepal right now, and what is the kind of value that we as a brand can bring, not only from a solution perspective but also from the awareness perspective. Also, we are trying to work out different models and different go-to-market strategies for the consumer segment, and we are working a different strategy for the corporate B2B segment, because the pain points of both the segments is very, very different. The product lines are very, very different. The features and the the way the installation happens is very, very different. So we want to create a clear demarcation or bifurcation between the consumer market and the corporate market, and that is exactly what I'm planning for the year ahead with the Sagar Group. And one of the prime focus would be also on creating more and more awareness, focus on more trainings, not only around the products and the technologies, but also overall cyber security as a subject, because if you are well informed on the subject, you are better able to take decisions, and that's what we want to do for Nepal as well. We've done similar stuff in India, and I think it would not be wrong to copy paste that same model for Nepal as well. So that's the plan.
Right. So I got to know that the main motto of the company is cybersecurity across all the borders, right?
Yeah.
So what are the major challenges that you think is the Nepal facing in the issue of cybersecurity?
I wouldn't say. Every country is different actually, and every country has different challenges. Be it from a technology perspective, be it from cyber maturity perspective, be it from the way adaptation of the technology happens. I think Nepal right now, my thought process around building the cybersecurity ecosystem in Nepal is to create more and more awareness, give a wider spectrum of understanding about cybersecurity as a subject, because this unfortunately today is one of the most difficult and a fast changing subject.
Right.
What happened 6 months ago will have zero impact on how things will change, because cyber industry is changing very very fast. So to keep a pace, any country is facing this problem.
Right.
Any technology advisor, be it a security operation leader, is facing, because there are so many technologies that need to be taken care of when it comes to cyber security. So the idea is to focus more and more on awareness, to focus more and more on enablement and understanding of various technologies in the cybersecurity vertical, and then as much as possible align with the demands of this country and position the products in a way that further strengthens or improves the response time. Because unfortunately it is a fact that wherever you are and whoever you are, sooner or later there will be a time that you would be facing a cyber attack. So how do you recover from the attack? How do you respond to that attack? And what is your comeback plan once you've been hit by an attack is something that needs to be focused.
Right.
And that is something which we want to develop more with the Nepal, with Nepal as a territory.
So nowadays, are you studying the Nepalese market?
Exactly, that is primarily the purpose of my visit, so that I can understand more. I definitely have an understanding from what we've been doing in the last few years with Nepal, but I think now is the time to invest more attention with the COVID restrictions and completely over, traveling become much more easier, almost no restrictions while traveling. So I think we would want to spend more time and develop this market further, because in my personal opinion I definitely see huge potential for cyber security enhancement in Nepal. So I really want to focus very hard in this country for 2023 for sure.
Right. So I saw that the ultimate goal of the Kaspersky is to have a safer cyberspace, right? So what are the different CSR activities that the company conducts for this purpose?
So in India back, I can talk about certain stuff that we are doing a lot of trainings across corporates, a lot of trainings across governments, mainly around awareness, enablement, giving them a real-time perspective of what is happening in the cybersecurity world and where the world is moving maybe 3 years, 5 years down the line. We are spending a lot of time in educational institutes, for the next generation that is going to come out. At least they need to be cyber aware, more cyber mature, and someone who can understand how impactful or how negatively impactful a cyber attack could be, so that the next generation which is coming in is more cyber ready and are more technically capable to handle such situations. So we are doing different campaigns in corporates, we are doing different campaigns with the governments, and we are doing different campaigns with the educational institute. So different campaigns for engineering colleges, different campaigns for schools. The 11th, 12th standard students get a different flavor of understanding of the way cybersecurity is being handled. So mainly around creating awareness, giving them maturity, teaching them the various dynamics of this industry is what we are trying to do around the CSR stuff.
So will these activities be conducted here in Nepal as well?
That is also the intention. So I am having taken my learnings from what we did in India, especially in the COVID days, because so many restrictions, so many challenges, so many business obstructions when it was COVID, and having learned our lessons there, I think there is a lot of similarity between Nepal and India. Even the language, the culture, everything is quite similar. So replicating a success model in India, at least around the cyber technology, again in Nepal should not be very difficult. So I have the same intention for Nepal as well.
So Kaspersky has been working in Nepal for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the most dreadful challenge for here in the condition of cyber attacks?
It is no different in any other country than it is in Nepal. I think the preparedness of responding to an attack is something that every country is trying to keep up with. And like I said, Nepal is no different. Some are slightly better, some are getting there. But everybody is moving in the direction that if I am faced in a cyber situation, what should be those steps of responding to a cyber situation? So creating playbooks, doing simulation activities, study material, case studies, getting an experience on how to handle the tools, preparing warfront teams, that which team does what. So those are the kind of preparedness that even Nepal is working on. Framing and reframing your policies, getting the right regulations in place from a security standpoint. So those are things which, as of now, I understand Nepal is also doing, which is the right thing to do. So as and how this gap narrows down, I think the maturity will start getting better. So maturity is inversely proportional to the gap. The smaller the gap, the better the maturity.
Yeah. So as a cybersecurity expert working in this industry for a very long time, any suggestions that you want to give to Nepal government to be reforming in the policy sector?
Well, I'm too small to advise governments to do anything, because it's very easy to sit on the other side and blame the government, or keep advising people of what they need to do, because it's not that governments don't know, but every government has different set of challenges, and the challenges not only come with adaptation of technology, it also comes with finding the right kind of resources and putting the right kind of policies, because so much thought, so much understanding, so much research has to go in before a policy can be rolled out to the common public. So, and every country has different set of political challenges as well as reforms. So getting to the right policy in the very first go is not going to be easy for any country. There will be permutations and combinations, and I think Nepal is no different. Everybody would face the same situations like Nepal, and Nepal is facing the same situations like I think any other countries do. So nothing different.
So I was really intrigued about this part, like AI like ChatGPT is getting really hyped these days, right?
Yes.
So do you think that is going to impact the cyber security of any country?
See, fundamentally, if you look at cyber security, the more the technology evolves, the bigger the threat landscape becomes, and the more difficult it becomes to make it cyber secure. So there, as long as technology will keep evolving, cyber threats will evolve in equal or maybe greater proportions. Right. Today we're talking about, 1 month back we were all talking about Internet of Things. Now suddenly ChatGPT has taken the front of it. Who knows, maybe 1 year down the line there will be something more that will come in, which we have not even thought about, but people are working on it. So as long as technology continues to evolve, cyber threats will evolve in parallel, I would say, and at the same time the entire industry would work to cover those gaps as well. So in the interest of business, in the interest of humanity, technology has to grow, because that's the way today the world is progressing, and everyone likes progress. But with progress and the speed of progress, there will be certain challenges that will come, and cybersecurity is one of them. So there will be ways to mitigate it, but it's only a matter of time, because I was earlier into a discussion where someone told me, now with ChatGPT coming up, do you think jobs will be a threat? It was like the same question was asked 20 years ago when computers came in. It is not computer who is going to take away your job. It is the lack of your intention to upgrade to the technology that will take away your job. So if someone today does not want to use a computer, it is his limitation. The world is using it. Same way, AI will come in, people will adopt, it will have huge advantages and some challenges also. As and how you adopt it in your corporate lives, in your personal lives, then it becomes a part of it, and then people start living with it. Technology has to move. That's the way it is.
Right. So your company has been working in many different countries. So I believe you guys have been serving in many different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So what do you think are the different cybersecurity trends that are going around in the world?
Nowadays, I think cyber security can be classified in two ways.
Okay.
One is cyber security challenges, mainly being faced in the B2B side, and then the other is the cyber bullying, which is happening. Phishing attacks are taking a different form. So of late we've seen attacks, and I've seen this happen in India as well, where you get an SMS saying that your electricity bill has not been paid, we will be disconnecting your electricity tonight. If you have paid the bill, please connect on this link to clear your dues. Obviously, with this kind of message, if you're saying if I'm going to lose electricity, you immediately go and click, which is actually not an electricity threat. It's a false SMS which is meant to be a kind of a cyber attack, where you're going to give your bank details, your personal details, and things will get hacked. Many such things are happening. Ransomware has taken different shapes. Online frauds have gone to a very, very different and a very sophisticated level of attacks. Overall, geopolitical situations are changing. So state nationwide attacks have also changed. India is facing a lot of cyber attacks. I am sure so is Nepal. So are other countries. So these things are evolving, are getting stronger, but at the same time, because the technology growth is happening in an equal space and an equal pace, I would say, managing these attacks is also getting more and more possible. So today, I think most countries are very capable of handling cyber attacks. The response time is getting better. You have better tools, today to handle those kind of attacks. Your teams are more mature. There have been a few use cases which and you've been practiced on. So these things are, it's like I said, the world is changing and changing fast, and especially after COVID, technology is changing at a different pace altogether. I mean, 5 years back, nobody thought the entire world would become so digital immediately, right? And because it became so digital, the cyber surface has gone bigger. So the attacks have also increased. So I think it's right now, in the last few years, specifically last 3 years with Kaspersky, if I see, it's been a cat and mouse kind of a game, or like we say, chore police kind of stuff. One is running, the other is trying to do the catch up stuff. So I think that's the way it is right now.
Okay, so as you mentioned, like ransomware is one of the biggest challenges that is going on. So what is Kaspersky doing to overcome it, or like what are the tactics that?
So tactics are very, very technical. I think it's the wrong session. And I'm not the best guy to talk about how do you mitigate an attack and how do you do all the matrix stuff that happens. But I think what we've been doing in the last few years is investing a lot of time, a lot of technology, and a lot of people more on research and development. And we've been spending considerable amount of time to find different methodologies. Of course, things like AI, ML, all these things come into play when it comes to defending the customer at the cyber side. How and what are the things that we can do to improve the detection capability and the response capability of our tool, because that eventually is going to benefit the customer and get more awards to Kaspersky, and then maybe a few more awards to me as well.
Right. So can you share us about some of the future plans that the company is going to take, especially in regard to Nepal?
Like I said, at least I can talk about 2023 to start with. This 2023 year is a focus year for Kaspersky towards Nepal. So there will be a lot of investments that we would do in this country, in terms of resources, in terms of technology, in terms of connecting to more people, doing more campaigns. Like I said, I want to spend considerable amount of time doing more awareness stuff. We want to see how we can align with the governments here and make things more cyber secure for the government as well. Work towards the enablement or I can say technology enablement of the channel ecosystem over here. As a brand, Kaspersky has been extremely channel friendly, and I think this year we would be spending considerable amount of time on technology enablement of our partners, because eventually partners are the front face of any organization. They function as the extended team for the brand, and more enlightened, enabled, capable partners would mean better defense mechanisms for the customer, and the right product positioning and the right solution selling for the customer. So this year is going to be focused by Kaspersky towards Nepal for these activities.
Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of the interview. Would you like to say anything at last to our audience?
Be cyber safe, be cyber secure. Cyber maturity is important. Do not take internet very lightly. While it is a very interesting place to be on, it is also equally dangerous and risky. Be very careful when you are on the internet, and ensure safety for you, your family, and your corporate teams.
So thank you so much for your valuable time, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.